All right. My apologies for the messy background. I'm not in a dojo. I'm not even in Okinawa anymore. It's been a long time since I've posted anything, but I'm still working out, just at the house right now. And fortunately, at work we started a martial arts club, so we have a number of people now. We got a Taekwondo guy there. We got a JKA Shitoryu guy there. He's Japanese, which is kind of fun. I get to speak a little bit. I miss Okinawa very much. To all of my friends in Okinawa, もう本当に寂しいですよ. However, you're on my mind, and it is good to be back a little closer to home and to be able to see family and all that. So, thought I would post a video. I've been thinking about it for a little while, and the theme, I guess, is get out of your opponent's way, and then probably more importantly, I'll focus on number 2 more than I will number 1, but get out of your own way. And what I mean by that is, a lot of times we have a tendency, or at least I've seen creeping into some of our karate, and keep in mind, I'm talking to, short and new people, mainly people that I train with as I look around and offer suggestions, tips, not the gospel truth or anything like that. But getting in our own way, like biomechanically, sometimes we sacrifice biomechanical correctness for what we think is proper form. And in actuality, it's probably not proper form, because if it's not biomechanically correct, it's probably not proper form, kata form, right? So, what do I mean by that? Even basic techniques, as I see techniques, let me give you an example. When we punch, we want to have room. We want to open up space in our body for the full generation of power, the complete generation of power, the recruitment of all the power that we can recruit in our body, right? And we want that power all going in the direction that we want it to go for the technique to be effective. However, a lot of times I see us, for what we think is proper form, inhibit good rotation, good biomechanics that will allow us to generate that power. So, example, I'm talking too much. If I'm here and I'm doing, say, a kihon kata, and I'm standing like this on 2 legs, and my feet are fairly narrow, my hips lock up right here. I can't rotate any further than this, because I'm standing upright, and I have this very narrow stance that I'm very upright. And Nakazato sensei used to say, mo stand up, and that's very true. We're not squatting down in this deep low stance, but we have to open up room for our hips to be able to drive into the target, right? So a shizen taidachi really should be here, not out here, unless I want my power to go out here, but at least here, where I'm natural, but I can rotate the full power, generate the full power of that punch into the technique. If I'm here, punching like this, I got no room for rotation. However, what we teach is open that stance up, generate or store potential energy here. In other words, create room for energy to be generated from this position here, and then release that energy in the direction we want it to go. And that generally looks like this, right? But if I'm here, I get hung up right here. I can't rotate into that. I need to open the stance up in order to release all that energy and bring it to bear in the direction I want it to go. And then as I step forward, I step out again. Here, I'm here. I'm still kind of upright in a natural stance. In other words, I'm not here, I'm here, but I'm open. I'm open so that I can bring this power to bear into the punch here, okay? And you can over-exaggerate it to get the feel for that. Another example, in Pasai, I see this a lot. if I have two sticks, happen to have two sticks right here, and they're connected at the top like this, and I try to twist them, and all things remain the same, I can only twist this far, right? That's it. Now, if I were to create a hinge down here and bend, then I could begin to hinge and rotate further. I could get more power generation by not locking myself up on two stilts. And when you walk on stilts, it's kind of hard, right? But when you walk with your knees and you bend your knees and ankles, you add joint flexibility in there, then all of a sudden it becomes a lot easier. So what do I mean by that? Here's what I mean. As an example, passai. We have this technique where we come here, one, and we rotate here, and then we turn around. We go from here, as an example, we have this technique where we kind of stand up. And what I see a lot of times is this. I see two straight poles, sticks coming out of my hips that lock up right here. There's no room for me to rotate any further than this because I'm here. I stand up. Instead of using the joints that I was given to get out of my own way, get out of my joints way, and to create that rotation where I can actually generate some counter-rotational power. I go from here, and I can actually turn and create that energy. Now, same thing when I go the other way. And I'm going to turn around. I'm going to go from here. If I turn and I go, whoop, all of a sudden I lock up right here. There's no room to rotate through that technique because I bind up right here. Can't go any further. If I were to simply take that and apply this same idea, as I come around here, I would end up in a very powerful position where my hips have a very wide range of rotation so that I can generate power through the technique, wherever you think that technique execution is, but generate the power through the technique. And conversely, I now have potential energy stored here that can be applied to the next technique, which is here. So that I'm not going here, 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 where there's no dynamics involved. I have this strong, powerful rotation. If I'm a Gyute guy, this looks an awful lot like this stance that you see a lot. If I'm Aikido, it looks a lot like some of the Aikido techniques where they have a tendency to kind of lean in with this foot in this hourglass stance and then lean forward into it. So that's what I mean by get out of your own way. One more example. Just a oizuki, a regular lunging punch. Now when we learn this, the way I learned it, which is fine, is we step and then we stand up. And sometimes to teach it, this is great. 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's fine. But effectively, what we're doing is creating a break when we do that. So I have all this energy, I'm doing it slow, but energy that I've forward, and energy is this forward motion, right? Everything's, my body's moving forward, just that simple. And when my foot hits here, all of a sudden there's a brake put on. It's like I've hit a brake, and now I have to regenerate that energy and stand up. And if my hand follows that brake, then all that energy that I've built up through the lunge process, right? The lunging forward of my hips, I just lost it. And this is probably intuitive for a lot of people, but when we punch, we want to harvest the power that we're creating through this forward motion. We want to harvest it and then transfer it through to our hand at the moment of impact. And so as we do that, what that ends up kind of looking like, and you can work on this with a bag, is from here, it ends up being, boom, that hand and that foot are coming generally at the same time, if not just a hair, I'd say even before. But wherever you feel that power, as long as you don't apply brakes, and then punch. it becomes here. So that, again, you're harvesting the energy, you're getting out of your own way and allowing that transfer of power, that transfer of energy from one muscle group into another muscle group. There's a lot involved there. Chinkuchi comes to mind, the connection between our muscles and sinews and joints, because that's what allows us to unimpededly transition energy from one place to another, which is effectively what we're doing. There's no energy in this hand, really. There's no energy in the hand until I generate energy from here, generate energy through here, generate energy here, and then as that energy comes through, it eventually transitions through to here. Same thing with a reverse punch. If I punch here, if I go here, there's energy, but then all this stops, so the hand can only transfer so much energy. But if I'm here, I'm driving, all the energy's kind of stored back in here. I drive it and I carry that energy out through my hand. But there's no real energy in my hand until I transition it. And if I create roadblocks from here to here, mechanically, biomechanically, then I don't get the power that I want. But if I can get out of the way of that energy moving forward, then I can launch it forward. I can drive, transition, and then throw that punch forward hard and not get in the way of my own body and inhibit my own power generation. So I think you could go through pretty much every kata with that and review your biomechanics and see where you're getting in your own way, and then maybe work on that where you find sticky points. And I find sticky points in myself all the time. Anyway, this has been a little long. It's been a long time since I posted. I might have to edit this down, but it's good seeing everybody, and look forward to hearing any comments you have, if it makes sense or it just didn't quite resonate or something like that. There are just a few examples, but I think you could go through just about any kata and try to find those hitches, those places where things just don't flow smoothly, and try to work on getting them out of the way without sacrificing balance, power, mobility, and things like that. There's an absolute balance there. Okay. よろしくお願いします。お疲れ様です。